What's up, everybody? We are getting a little bit of a live green room here before we get started. Give everybody a chance to get in the room. I got Nick Wolf with me, who is already at his hotel here for IT Nation. I was running a little bit further behind, so I'm actually sitting in baggage at Orlando Airport. So if you're coming through, stop by and say hi. But we're going to do a little bit of a live green room here for a few minutes before we officially get started. Give everybody a chance to get in the room and get ready. In the meantime, if you want to pop into the chat where you're joining us from, curious to see how many IT Nation goers that we've got here.
Busy day between IT Nation and the election, and most importantly, this webinar.
Yeah, right? Yeah, election day too was the other one. We were just talking, Nick and I, before we started this. Who chose right before IT Nation to schedule this? And it's like, didn't even think of that. Didn't think of the election day either. Like I looked at it 2 weeks ago and I was like, oh great, my flight is leaves before the polls open. So luckily I was able to get in, and they had early voting open in my area like 2 weeks ago. So
same, yep.
All good. We got Bill Perkins, we've got Clinton, we've got Chris. What's up, everybody? So normally I would be joining you from Detroit, but like I said, I'm currently sitting in the baggage claim area at Orlando Airport. Fun times, but as I was mentioning to Nick, the show must go on. South Bend, Indiana. What's going on, Christopher?
Did Flo Rida join yet?
Try and find a comfortable spot sitting up against this pillar. Yeah, right. I need Chris's private jet. Then I'd know where my golf clubs were, because that's a whole other side conversation. I'm sitting by oversized baggage waiting for my golf clubs, which were taking forever, and I just tracked them right before we started. And they're at the service department, which I don't know exactly what that means, so we'll find out afterwards. All right, we'll give it another minute or two here, and then we will get rolling.
On the flip side, it is good weather here in Orlando. It's not too hot today.
Yeah, it was actually really warm in Michigan, unseasonably warm. It was like 60 degrees in the morning when I got out of the car to head into the airport. This time of year, it could be anywhere from like 20 degrees to 70 degrees. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, in Connecticut, it was 78 degrees for Halloween, and I know that when I used to go out as a kid, it would be like 20 or 30.
We had like 50 degrees and rain, so that was fun. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get rolling. You ready, Nick?
Let's make it happen.
All right, let's do it. So welcome, everybody. My name is Ryan O'Hara. I am the VP of Member Services at Seven Figure MSP, and I'm joined today by Nick Wolf from Cork, and we're going to talk about unlocking cybersecurity insights with Cork's active loss prevention. Nick, you want to say a couple words about yourself, about Cork, and then we'll get rolling?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Wolf. I'm the Director of Partner Acquisition here at Cork. I've been here for about a year. I've spent my entire career in the channel as one of Datto's very first employees. I was there for about a decade. And then I went to some other startups in the MSP space, including Scout XDR, which was acquired by Barracuda Networks a couple years ago, as well as Evo Security, which is an identity and access management vendor for MSPs. So been working with MSPs all my life, absolutely love it, and definitely continuing on the trend here at Cork and all the great things we're going to be discussing for MSPs today.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure as always. You want me to bring up your slide deck and we'll get rolling?
Sure.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, so this is the best slide in the deck. It has my photo in it. It's all downhill from here, folks. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about, our active loss prevention and what we're really doing here at Cork. But before I do that, I really want to go into the history and the team here at Cork. So everything that we do here at Cork is with managed service providers in mind. We were co-founded and have investors from two of our main sources. The first is going to be Austin McCord. He was the founder of Datto. So we're really excited to have Austin on our team, and I get to work with Austin again, which is an absolute treat. And then the other co-founder and lead investor is John McNeil, who's the former president of Tesla. So something that John has in his background history is he's worked with a lot of insurance companies in the past. He actually built a device that plugs into cars that shows you when you're driving safe in that car, so you can get a discount on your car insurance. And then Austin brought his MSP knowledge to the space. And what if we could develop a cyber warranty or a cyber insurance product that rewards small businesses and MSPs for proper cyber hygiene? So that's something that we're going to be touching on today as well. Also, people that are on our team that are advising us are the legendary, the one, the only Rob Ray, as well as Ryan Weeks, who was Datto's Chief Information Security Officer for many, many years as well. So some of the top industry talent is really what's responsible for what we're doing here at Cork, and I'm really excited to really dive into the product and the platform to show the value that we're bringing into the community today. So, with that in mind, what is the problem that we're looking to solve? So we looked at the cyber security, the cyber insurance space, even for small businesses. And we saw that a lot of products that are out there for monitoring are very reactive. They're not proactive, looking from an inside in. There's a lack of feedback in the MSP community to actually understand what are my remediation actions that I need to take in order to qualify for cyber insurance, make sure that a cyber insurance policy pays out. And a lot of small businesses are just, quite frankly, underserved by their existing cyber insurance policy because it's very static information. Most of the time, a small business is just filling out a questionnaire that's 1 million pages long. Yes, I have MFA turned on. Yes, backups are running. They're not sure if they're filling out those questions correctly. They're not sure if their insurance plan is even valid.
So yeah, that was what I was going to add there. Is something that we see very, very often is they have no clue what half of those questions mean. And to be fair, at the same time, like I've read some of these questionnaires, and I don't think some of the people who authored them know what they're talking about either. But point being is it can be very, very confusing, especially for the end customer, what those things mean. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day, like if you understood it or not. If you answer that question and you didn't answer it correctly, or you're not doing those things when something actually happens down the road, it makes no difference. You're really looking at not getting that claim paid out.
100%. There's a lot of gray area with all those questionnaires. So what makes Cork a little bit different here is we're providing an active loss prevention monitoring platform. Basically, what that means is that instead of sending out a questionnaire asking for your information, asking if MFA is turned on, asking if backups are running, we have an inside-out monitoring approach that's actually going to tie into those security tools that you as an MSP are selling to your clients today. So there's a tremendous value of a monitoring platform that we're offering here at Cork. And that monitoring platform is also backed by a financial warranty, which could give out a payout during a cybersecurity event. Really, we want to be as vendor agnostic as possible when it comes to managed service providers, which is why we've built integrations with dozens of vendors. The way that our monitoring platform works is that there's no hardware device you need to install with Cork. There's no software agent you need to roll out. It's all going to be an API configuration with your existing cybersecurity tools that you as an MSP are selling to your clients today. Some of the tools that we're connecting to are remote monitoring and management, endpoint detection and response, backup and disaster recovery, multi-factor authentication, security awareness training, email security tools, etc. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to be a one-stop shop for managed service providers, having all of your cybersecurity tools under one umbrella. And it doesn't matter if some of your clients are using Webroot or some of your clients are using SentinelOne, or if there's overlap and they're using both. We're able to monitor this data from multiple sources. From there, what we could do is we could see if there's any misconfigurations, vulnerabilities, or compliance issues within the client's environment that would void out their cyber insurance policy if they have cyber insurance, or void out their cyber warranty if they purchased a cyber warranty through Cork. So that's what we're really trying to do here, is be that one-stop shop for all your cybersecurity tools with a vendor agnostic approach here.
So kind of the MSP equivalent of like those little things you plug into your car for your auto insurance to track you.
Exactly. The safe driver discount, if you will.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. The way that it works is really quite simple. So I could actually run through a quick platform demo here. Now, I am a sales guy. I am not an engineer. I am not a smart guy. I'm not a technical person, but we really want to make the dashboard as easy as possible for MSPs of all shapes and sizes here. Trust me, if I can run through the dashboard, anybody in any MSP can run through the dashboard. It's really quite simple.
I love it when any demo starts with a disclaimer like that.
Yes, yeah. So the way that it works is when an MSP signs up for Cork, they're going to gain access to this dashboard, and the first thing they're going to want to do is set up their integrations with their cybersecurity tools that they're leveraging today. Again, we're vendor agnostic. We want to work with everybody, all the kids that are in the sandbox. We want to play nicely with. So, say you're using Datto for RMM, all you have to do is connect to it using an API key. Or maybe some of your clients are co-managed and those co-managed clients are using Ninja. That's totally fine too. Again, we work with everybody from RMM, EDR. If you wanted to connect your web root instance, for example, again, all we're needing is the API or the client ID to see all this information. So once you integrate with the vendors that are a part of your stack, basically what's going to happen is that's all going to populate into a client list here. This is where you're going to see all of your end user customers and the security tools that they're leveraging. Even if you haven't sold them the Cork warranty yet, they're still going to be visible within this dashboard. So as we can see here, my client Bluth, they're using Ninja for RMM and Bitdefender for EDR and Microsoft for MFA and Acronis for backup. My client Death Star is using Huntress. My client Dunder Mifflin is using SentinelOne. So again, it doesn't matter which combinations of security tools your clients are leveraging, we're going to be able to view all those security tools under one umbrella. From there, what we could do is we could drill down onto an individual client basis and see if there's any misconfigurations, vulnerabilities, or compliance issues at that client that would void out their cyber insurance policy or void out their cyber warranty through Cork. So for my client Bluth, as an example, Lucille turned off multi-factor authentication, and workstation number 2 doesn't have any EDR tool installed on it. So maybe your MSP might use Datto RMM and SentinelOne EDR. In this example, you installed the RMM tool, but for whatever reason, maybe your tech left early that day or the script didn't work and your EDR tool didn't get installed. So if things like that slip through the cracks, we're able to proactively alert you to it. Same thing for MFA. If there's a user out there that turned off Microsoft Authenticator when they shouldn't, we're able to proactively alert you to it. What's cool about Cork is that we're giving you a 2-day window to fix this compliance issue before we're pausing warranty coverage and our warranty payouts. So if you get hit by an attack in the morning and it's that morning that MFA got disabled, Cork is still providing you with a full payout during the cybersecurity incident. But in essence, this dashboard is really designed to be your extra set of eyes and ears, making sure that all your clients are set up and configured properly from a compliance standpoint. That way, cyber insurance still pays out and the Cork warranty still pays out.
Does it notify you too when one of those devices falls out of compliance? Because to your point, that could also be a sign that there's something going on that needs to be addressed. Maybe it's an attacker who disabled that EDR.
Yep, absolutely. So you can get notified either through the dashboard, you can get notified through email alerts, and we've also set up a lot of custom reports as well. So this is reports that MSPs can run on a daily basis. They could use it internally for their tech team, or they could share it out with clients. All righty. So really what I wanted to do here is we talked about the monitoring that you get with the Cork dashboard, which is a tremendous value for MSPs. But what's backed by that dashboard is also a revenue generator for MSPs, and that's something called a cyber warranty. Now, Cork sells a cyber warranty. We don't sell cyber insurance. There's a little bit of overlap, but in an ideal world, an MSP and their small business customer should have both a cyber warranty and a cyber insurance policy. Cyber insurance policy is super, super important. All small businesses out there should absolutely have a cyber insurance policy. I can't stress that enough. But just because you have a cyber insurance policy doesn't mean it's the answer to all your prayers. It doesn't mean that it's always going to pay out. We've done some statistics, and we've seen that around 30 to 40% of cyber insurance claims are actually denied and not paid out through the cyber insurance broker. One of the more popular stories is with Travelers Insurance, where they denied the claim for their customer because the customer told them in their questionnaire that MFA was turned on. They just checked that box going, yep, I have MFA, check that box. give me my insurance policy. When in reality, MFA was actually not turned on for all devices and all users. As a result, Travelers Insurance denied the claim and did not pay out that client after they had a cybersecurity breach. So we are seeing a good portion of cyber insurance claims getting denied. We're also seeing the costs of cyber insurance go up drastically, roughly 50% to 100% year over year, with a deductible or retention, a part of that cyber insurance policy costing tens of thousands of dollars. Last but not least, the approval process to get cyber insurance can be very daunting. 10 years ago, it was easy. It was 3 questions. Do you have backup? Do you have antivirus? Do you have MFA? Great. Here's insurance.
That's if they had any questions at all. I mean, some of these were just like, hey, do I want to pay a little bit extra and get cyber added onto this?
Yep. Nowadays, it feels like the questions are so daunting and long, and there's a lot of gray area, like you mentioned, Ryan. I feel like I'm taking a standardized test. If a train leaves New York at 10 miles an hour and a train leaves Chicago at 100 miles an hour, when do they cross paths? Like, there's just so much into it.
Another point to that too is it's not just the gray area in the questionnaire itself. It's like that's not the end all be all. It's still entirely possible that you answer yes and everything's all good with everything they asked you, but then a year down the road when you actually do get hit and you look at it from hindsight, that the insurance company still comes back and says, well, you should have been doing this as well. I mean, we didn't ask you about it, but you should have been doing this. So it really comes down to we as MSPs need to make sure that we're protecting our customers and are ahead of that curve. Like I always joke, insurance is kind of 2 years behind the times with the stuff that's on those questionnaires. We need to make sure that we put our customers in a position where if the insurance company comes back at them and says you should have been doing this stuff, that they can reasonably argue, what more could we have done? We were doing everything reasonably necessary. Nothing is 100%. You're looking at this through the benefit of hindsight. Like if we would have known exactly how this attack was going to occur, we probably could have had an extra layer in here that would have stopped exactly that thing. But we're following the NIST cybersecurity framework. Like what more do you expect us to do? And I think that's the important approach to take with this kind of stuff.
100%, 100%. So again, in an ideal world, a small business customer should have both cyber insurance and a cyber warranty. But again, there are some blind spots of cyber insurance like we highlighted here that hopefully we're going to be able to address with Cork in a couple minutes. Now, on this webinar, I've mentioned the word a cyber warranty a bunch of times. Odds are a lot of you listening in probably don't understand or know what a cyber warranty is. Cyber warranty.
Very common question that I hear.
Yeah. Do you mean cyber insurance? Because I've heard of cyber insurance a bunch, but a cyber warranty, I've never heard of that term. So really, when we talk about a cyber warranty, we like to compare it to the auto industry. In the auto industry, you have car insurance and you have a car warranty. Car insurance is protection if you have an accident in your vehicle or if your car is stolen. But car insurance is different than a car warranty. A car warranty helps fix devices or components or pay for out-of-pocket expenses within a vehicle. And ultimately, a car warranty's sole purpose is to reduce the likelihood of causing an accident, which will then reduce the likelihood of you ever needing to utilize the car insurance portion of your policy in the first place. Because again, a car warranty is all about preventing and remediating that accident before it begins. When I think of a car warranty, I think of a check engine light in a car. It's dinging right in front of you saying, hey, go fix this, otherwise bad things are happening. So, you take it into the shop, you fix your engine, you fix your tire, you fix what's ever wrong. That way your car is running properly and you never have that accident to begin with. You never need to activate your car insurance policy to begin with. And this reflects very similar to the cyber landscape. So in the cyber landscape, you have cyber insurance, which is protection if you have an incident in your cyber landscape or if your data is stolen. But cyber insurance is different than a cyber warranty. When I think of Cork, I really like to think of a check engine light in a vehicle. Like I showed you earlier in today's webinar, we offer you that monitoring platform. So instead of our check engine light monitoring platform looking after your engine and your tires and your muffler, we're looking at the components in your car. But instead of a car, it's your small business. So we're not looking at your muffler. We're looking at your EDR software. Is Sentinel-1 running? Is WebRoot running? Or whatever tool that you installed, is it actually doing what it needs to do? Is backups running properly? Is MFA turned on correctly? So we're looking at all these cybersecurity tools and making sure that they're set up properly and configured properly. That way we can prevent and remediate an accident before it ever happens. Now,
and Nick, I think another interesting thing about your offering, because I have seen other providers that do something similar. If you use their entire ecosystem, right? Like if you buy everything from us, then we'll give you a warranty. What's nice about your product is that because it plugs into all of these third-party tools, it allows you as the MSP to make those decisions on what layers work the best with your workflows, and still being able to provide something like that. So I think that's an important selling point as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's something we see with some other cyber warranties and even cyber insurance vendors out there. They'll say, we're only giving you coverage if you use these vendors pre-attack for backup and EDR and MFA, and these vendors post-attack for your remediation, your cleanup, and your forensic. With Cork, we're vendor agnostic before the attack and after the attack. We don't care which tools you're installing beforehand. We don't care which vendors you're using afterwards for the remediation and the incident response. We want to work with everybody here. Bring the stack that you want to bring.
Hey, Nick, and then I've got something in the chat that I kind of want to address here. So David is mentioning, yet another monitoring platform. I don't look at it that way. Like, does it have a monitoring component? Sure, but that monitoring component is more for you at Cork to make sure that the right things are being done. The way that I look at this from an MSP standpoint, this isn't going to replace the monitoring pieces that I've got going on, but it's also a nice double check, which, hey, redundancy is kind of things that we live by from an MSP standpoint. So I don't see this as a bad thing. I see this as an extra redundancy. It's got its usefulness for you in order to guarantee that warranty. But it's a double check on our systems to make sure that our monitoring is working properly.
100%. Yes, sir. All righty. So when it comes to what our warranty is actually covering, there's two types of warranties that we offer. We offer a $100,000 warranty and we offer a $500,000 warranty. On the right-hand side in this column is also a typical cyber insurance policy example, so you could see what's covered and not covered by most cyber insurance policies that we've analyzed. So with both of our warranties, you're going to get that proactive monitoring solution that alerts you if you're in or out of compliance with your cyber insurance plan or your cyber warranty plan. You're also going to get instant access to funds using a virtual debit card. This is a debit card that gets issued to your small business customer within hours of an attack. That way they could use this debit card to recover and get back on their feet without having to go into their own pocket.
And I think this one is mission critical because I think the other piece that a lot of people don't think about, whether it be the MSP that doesn't think about it or the end customer, when these things happen, you need to react quickly. And so say it's a business email compromise and they just drained your bank account by stealing ACH credentials and draining that account. Now you need to come up with the money in order to start the incident response process, because most incident response partners aren't going to work without some sort of retainer in place. So unless you have something pre-negotiated, deposit has been made to where they can go into action right away, those instant funds are going to be critical. Otherwise, you're sitting there for, hours, if not days, trying to find those funds to get that incident response started. And if you don't get this started within a few hours, like that makes all the difference in how quickly and effectively you're able to respond.
Yep. And some small businesses might say, yeah, I have cyber insurance. They're going to give me money for this. And yes, they will, but it's going to take a couple weeks or a couple months to actually see that money. Whereas with a warranty, it's all about providing you the fast cash now to sort of get back on your feet in a real-time scenario.
And most of them aren't going to give you the money until they've seen that forensics report from the incident response anyway. So going back to my scenario, you're not going to see a penny from insurance until that incident response has been completed, much less started.
Yep, because typically what happens with a cyber insurance provider and their forensics is they go back to the questionnaire. All right, we sold you a policy, and on that questionnaire, you told us that MFA was turned on and EDR was installed and backups were running and all these things. So let's make sure that all those things were running. And then if they were running, okay, then we could pay you.
That's when that process starts, right? Like they don't confirm those things when you originally submit the questionnaire. They wait until you ask for money and they're like, oh, well, no, you're not doing these things.
Exactly. So going back to David's comment of another monitoring platform, well, the reason why we're able to pay out money and pay it out now is because we're going to know if your clients are in compliance with the insurance or warranty plan that they purchased before the attack ever happens. That's why we don't have to spend weeks performing a forensic investigation, because I'm seeing your Sentinel-1 EDR working right now. I'm seeing your Microsoft Authenticator turned on for MFA for all your users right now, whichever tools you're using, I'm seeing that information right now before the attack ever happens.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got a couple of things in the chat that I want to bring in here. I think that, these are coming up. I think they make sense to hit while we're going through this. So Dan Miller is asking, wait, in a breach, you don't have to essentially freeze, touch nothing while investigation is going. I think the point here is that you really need to make sure that you one, have an incident response partner, and you have a process in place. I mean, you're going to have two different paths that you're going to go down, depending on whether or not this customer who's going through a breach was an existing customer that you have a pre-existing relationship with, or somebody who is starting this relationship brand new because they called you because they're essentially in a breach situation right now. The important part, in my opinion, is that when you're doing any type of incident response, it's a qualified and trusted incident response company. If you as an MSP are not qualified, have never done forensics, have never filled out an incident response report, if you don't do this on a regular basis, you probably should not be doing the incident response. You should be working with a third-party incident response partner. You can quarterback the relationship and coordinate everything, but they're doing the forensics. You're not touching those computers until they've given you the go-ahead, short of installing some agents or whatever that they need in order for you to do that. If it's an existing customer, highly, highly recommend, again, that you still have an incident response partner relationship, but that's when you want to make those relationships, solidify those relationships ahead of time. So it gives you an opportunity to talk to their insurance company. It gives you an opportunity to make sure that incident response partner is going to be allowed to work on that incident if it happens, and all of those types of things. You need to follow the procedures that are either governed by your insurance company, by their attorneys. You need to follow those procedures, but somebody is going to be doing some investigation, and they're not going to do it for free, or they're not going to do it on credit. So that's where those instant access to funds really comes in.
Yep.
Anything to add to that, Nick?
Yeah, and with the Cork warranty, especially on the $500,000 policy, we'll actually cover the incident response expenses, and we're vendor agnostic. So we don't care who you actually end up picking for the incident response. Cork at that point is just providing cost coverage, essentially.
Perfect. And then we had another one, which was what is the level of tolerance for out of compliance devices? Probably depends on what's out of compliance, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So I'll skip a slide here. So
sure.
The requirements needed for a validated Cork warranty: you need to have RMM running for patch management. You need to have some sort of endpoint detection and response software running on the client's endpoint. If your clients are still using on-prem endpoints with mission-critical data, like on-prem servers, there needs to be some sort of backup solution installed on that machine. And then the last requirement is that MFA needs to be turned on for cloud-based email. As long as you have those four requirements, you'll instantly qualify for the Cork warranty and our warranty payout. If there's any compliance issues for that machine or environment, we're going to pause warranty coverage for that particular user or that particular device after 2 days. So you have 2 days to fix it. Other than that, we're going to be pausing the warranty payout for that user or that device. The other devices and other users in the organization will still get a payout through Cork, but not Ryan if Ryan turns off MFA. But if John is working at that company and John has MFA turned on and the organization gets hit by an attack, we'll cover related expenses to John, but not to Ryan, because Ryan was out of compliance after 2 days. We're available in all 50 states and most of Canada. We're not international quite yet. Maybe next year, though. All right. Were there any other questions that popped up there, Ryan?
We've got one more. So if these are turned on and not working, and we are covered 2 business days or calendar days.
It's 2 business days. No, sorry, 2 calendar days. Hackers don't take the weekends off, and neither do we.
Nope. That's actually when they work overtime.
Yes, exactly. So, 2 calendar days.
And then 2FA required for VPN.
Yes. So typically, MFA is going to be required for your email security, RDP, and VPN. We're not requiring MFA for like desktop logins or things of that nature. It's really your cloud-based email, which is typically done through like a Microsoft Authenticator, and then an RDP or VPN if that's applicable for your environment.
Perfect. All right, we're good. We're good for right now, but I'll keep them coming.
All righty, good deal. So going back, both of our warranties give you instant access to funds using that virtual debit card, so your client has money at the ready to go. We're also going to cover things like attacks, SMS attacks, email gift card scams, wire transfer fraud payments. A lot of these are typically not covered by a cyber insurance policy. Even if it's something minor like a $200 or $300 email gift card scam, believe it or not, it does happen. That's why all your customers out there should be doing security awareness training if they're not already. But if they do end up getting popped and falling victim to those types of attacks, the Cork warranty will pay it off, whereas typically with cyber insurance, it's not going to be covered. The other big thing here is that we will pay off your client's cyber insurance deductible. So let's say your client already has a $2 million cyber insurance policy, which they should, because cyber insurance is important and everybody should have cyber insurance. Odds are if they have that $2 million cyber insurance policy, it could be a $5,000, a $10,000, a $20,000 deductible that they have to meet. So if they had the Cork warranty in place, we would be the ones paying off that deductible. It's all about reducing a client's out-of-pocket expenses, essentially, is what we're looking to accomplish here. Some people have kind of referred to Cork as the Aflac of cyber insurance, where we're supplemental gap coverage. That's really our sweet spot for sure. Cyber insurance is not a competitor of Cork in any way, shape, or form. If anything, we're two sides of the same coin. So we're always on the same team here.
So Nick, with the pro plan there that does cover the same things that insurance does, how does that work? Does it cover then any of the difference that maybe if your limit wasn't high enough and cyber insurance didn't cover all of incident response, or is it it just covers the bill regardless of what cybersecurity insurance pays for?
So typically the Protect Plus plan, I normally sell that to a client that already has cyber insurance, and this is supplemental gap coverage. The Protect Pro is when I usually sell it, it's to a client that might not have a cyber insurance policy today, even though that it's important and everybody should have cyber insurance. Sometimes a small business might not be able to afford it or qualify it for whatever reason. So usually the Protect Pro is acting as standalone coverage because it's covering a lot of the same things that cyber insurance does. It covers incident response and data recovery and business interruption loss and ransomware payments, which is what cyber insurance will typically cover. And it also covers the other things that cyber insurance doesn't cover, like wire transfer loss and gift card scams. But the reason why this should not be seen as an alternative to cyber insurance is because we're capped at $500,000, whereas the cyber insurance policy could go up to millions upon millions of dollars worth of coverage. But as a starting point, if you're dealing with a small business customers, if they do have cyber insurance, I would recommend the Protect Plus. If they do not have cyber insurance or they need more than $100K worth of gap coverage, I would recommend the Protect Pro.
Yeah, part of it depends on the organization, what they do, how large they are, because it can get crazy. I mean, if you just need to cover incident response and data recovery and things like that, that's one thing. If you start getting into, potential class action lawsuits, that's a whole nother ballgame.
Yep, 100%.
And then I do have one other question here. I didn't see Blackpoint Cyber in the list of integrations. Did I miss that? And I don't know off the top of my head if Blackpoint uses their own tools or if they use third-party tools you would just integrate those separate integrations. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so with MDR and SOC vendors like Blackpoint or Rocket Cybers, typically they're sitting on top of an existing EDR agent. Like I know that Blackpoint works with SentinelOne and Windows Defender as an example. And because we're working with those vendors, we're going to be able to sync into the Blackpoint agent from there. Right. So gotcha. There's no need for us to work directly with Blackpoint in that example.
Perfect. That's what I thought.
Yep. Good deal. All righty. So we went over the warranties that we offer. We offer a $100,000 policy and we offer a $500,000 policy. And like we alluded to a little bit ago, it's all about helping your clients recover. Please meet your party. So depending on the type of incident your clients happen is really going to determine the type of payout that occurs with Cork. If it's something small like an email gift card scam or a phishing attack, you'll alert Cork, and we're going to be providing you a settlement within 2 days. If Mary from marketing got scammed out of the $300 gift card, all right, here's your $300 back. You're good to go. If it's something larger like a ransomware or a wire transfer fraud attack, you're going to let us know. From there, we're going to issue you a virtual debit card with thousands of dollars on it in real time for you to recover. And then from there, we're going to do some examining and verifying. We'll work alongside your cyber insurance carrier if you have cyber insurance. If you don't have cyber insurance, we'll provide our own investigation, and then we'll do a settlement within 30 days. But even though we're settling the rest of the funds within 30 days, the key thing to remember here is that you're already getting money today. Whereas typically with cyber insurance, you're not going to see a penny until months or weeks after you submit that claim. Again, cyber insurance is our friend here. So if you already have a cyber insurance vendor, we will pay off that cyber insurance deductible. We'll give you instant access to the funds, and we'll work very closely alongside your cyber insurance carrier to figure out the nitty-gritty of who pays what. In an ideal scenario, a customer that has a Cork warranty should really be out of pocket nothing, essentially. And that actually is a great transition point that I'll bring up here is a couple weeks ago, Cork actually had, or a couple months ago over the summer, actually, Cork actually had their first claim. So this client was monitored by their MSP, and the MSP ensured that nothing was set up incorrectly, right? MFA was turned on, backups were running, EDR was installed, the RMM agent were running, etc. And then what happened was one of their clients was a law firm. They suffered an email phishing incident, which could have exposed the records for tens of thousands of sensitive client information, which is no good. So luckily, their MSP, Birmingham Consulting, in this example, they were able to see what happened within 39 minutes. They locked down the client's entire environment. In Cork, here at Cork, because we offer a cyber warranty, we were able to provide resources. We helped handle the insurance claim. We provided instant access to that emergency funds using the virtual debit card. And in the end, what happened here is that there was zero loss, zero out-of-pocket expenses for both the end user and Birmingham Consulting, which was the MSP in this example. And the client had more faith in their MSP, Birmingham Consulting, because it's if a client has an attack, it's when it's going to happen.
Right.
And MSP,
and
yeah.
I just wanted to add to this, Nick. So this is a great win. This is the ideal situation. But one thing that I want to stress to MSPs, especially when you're trying to convey this information to your customers, you still don't want to get in this situation because you're going to get pushback. Why do I need all of these tools in order to protect this? I don't know anybody that this has happened to. Even in this best case scenario where they were made whole and they, everything was all nice at the end of the day, I guarantee you this was not a fun situation in the moment for either the MSP or the customer. They do not want to have to utilize these types of things because if you're utilizing this safety net, I guarantee you had a bad day. Probably a bad couple of days. Okay. So from an MSP standpoint, when you're talking to your customers and they're pushing back and saying, I don't need all of these tools, just give me this, or this, whatever they think that they need. It's really, really important. And I like that a product like this helps enforce that. Like you need to have all of these things in order to even qualify for this warranty. But it's really important as an MSP that you guys share that information, that you educate your customers. They need to know that regardless of how well that you are able to help them through this, it's not going to be fun. The ideal situation is never having to go through it in the first place.
100%. So glad that we had our first success story there. The other success story that I wanted to share is really how some of our MSPs are selling this to their end clients. So Chris Bond of Innovative Technology Solutions, typically a lot of his clients already have a cyber insurance policy in place, a $2 million policy. And what he does is he encourages them to increase the deductible on their cyber insurance policy, maybe increasing it from a $5,000 or $10,000 deductible to a $20,000 or a $30,000 deductible. In this case, he increased it to a $25,000 deductible. As a result of increasing the deductible on your cyber insurance policies, his clients actually ended up saving around $2,000 to $3,000 a year on their cyber insurance premiums. And he was able to use that cost savings to purchase the Cork warranty for his clients through Cork. So now the end client ended up getting more coverage for less money overall because he was able to use that cost savings from insurance to purchase the Cork warranty as that supplemental gap coverage. Yep. And that's something we've made even easier for all of our MSPs going forward. So you might have seen in the news a couple months ago, we actually partnered with our friends over at DataStream, which is a third-party cyber insurance carrier. Now, typically with cyber insurance, you have to fill out that lengthy security questionnaire. Is MFA turned on? Are backups running, etc.? Well, at Cork, we're monitoring all your environments and all your endpoint points, even if you haven't sold them a Cork warranty yet. So for my client Stark Industries here, as an example, I know that they're using Ninja for RMM and Bitdefender for EDR and Acronis for backup. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to go right into the dashboard and go to where it says get an instant insurance quote. It's going to ask for my permission to share this data with DataStream, which is the third-party cyber insurance carrier. And in a couple seconds here, the MSP can now receive an instant cyber insurance quote for this client or any of their other clients. So, for example, for Stark Industries, a $1 million cyber insurance policy through DataStream would be $6,600 a year. But if that particular client had a cyber warranty through Cork in their environment first, the cost would go down to $4,600 a year. So, again, small businesses can now save thousands of dollars in their cyber insurance policies if they purchase it through DataStream and if they have a Cork warranty within their environment first. And again,
and this is the math that helps, right? Like this is the way that we can go, hey, you know what, Mr. Customer, I know you don't think you need all of these things, but the insurance companies disagree with you. Having all of these things, yes, it's going to cost you more, but it's likely going to save you just as much, if not more, with that insurance policy, because it's either going to go up if you don't have these things, or they're going to flat out refuse to cover you. Mm-hmm. And you can't afford to do that anymore. I mean, just the stuff that you have to do to recover from a cyber incident, like if you don't have a warranty or insurance, you risk going out of business. These small and medium-sized businesses don't have that war chest of cash that these larger ones do that make the news. Yep. They go out of business at a much higher rate when they suffer an attack like this.
Yep. So again, not only are we monitoring your environment for security posture for the cyber warranty, we're also monitoring it for the security posture for the cyber insurance. And we work closely with our good friends over at DataStream to help you, the MSP, generate instant cyber insurance quotes for your clients without having to spend 5 hours filling out a security questionnaire that's 50 pages long. And what you'll find with Cork is that the price is relatively low when it comes to getting the coverage that we're offering. So a lot of MSPs are baking in the cost of Cork into their managed services agreement. Our costs are $3 an endpoint a month for the $100,000 warranty that we sell, or $7 an endpoint a month for the $500,000 warranty that we sell. So just running some quick math here, say you have a small business customer, they do not have cyber insurance today, and you want to get them a $500,000 policy. Say this small business is 10 devices, 10 machines. It's a small business, right? Your cost is $70 a month for a $500,000 policy. So again, this is designed to be extremely, extremely attractive and cost-effective to small business customers. Some of my MSPs, when they're reselling Cork and our cyber warranty, they're marking it up by a couple dollars. What the majority of my MSPs are doing, though, is they're not selling Cork individually a la carte. They're packaging in Cork into their cybersecurity plan or their managed services agreement. So they're approaching their client saying, hey, Mr. Client, I'm going to sell you, Datto for RMM and WebRoot for EDR and Axient for backup and Duo for MFA. And I'm so confident in these tools that I'm selling you that I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and back it by a $100,000 warranty powered by Cork should any of these parts or components fail. So again, that drives stickiness with the client because now they're going to be using the tools within your stack because you're including this warranty if they use those tools that are in your stack essentially. So again, that is just one of the many ways that a lot of our MSPs are selling Cork to their end user customers. They're packaging it together. You're on mute. Come on. There we go.
Darn it. I knew that was going to happen at least once. I'm trying to like mute periodically because I got people walking around. I do have a question here related to pricing. What about pricing for nonprofit organizations? I'm guessing there's not anything different. And I would also point out and argue you got to be careful about defaulting to it needing to be different even when you're trying to sell to them as an MSP. Most nonprofits that I've ever worked for or worked with make more money than some of the for-profits that I've worked with. Just because it's a nonprofit doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have any money. At the same time, you may run into some that are a little bit more cash-strapped than others, but for something like this, I don't think there's probably much difference.
No, it's there's no discount here for nonprofit.
Please meet your party information.
Is that the airport or is that a customer?
No, that's the airport. They're talking over the PA now.
All righty. But there's no special pricing for nonprofit organizations. Nope.
But what I will say is something like this is very advantageous for a nonprofit because a lot of nonprofits tend to be, donation driven. So an attack like that could really cripple somebody like that. So this helps keep them whole in that scenario as well.
Yeah, exactly. So like me, for example, I've been a volunteer with the Boy Scouts of America for the last 20 years. Donated tens of thousands of dollars to them. And, when I donate my money to them, I want to make sure that it's going to the right cause. It's going to where it needs to be. So, that's why, I also volunteer my technical expertise to make sure that they're set up properly and that there's no wire transfer fraud within the nonprofit, right? Because you don't want your donors to be scared off from donating in the future if that money is going to get stolen by the bad guys, right? So, no nonprofit pricing at this time. Alrighty. So again, we went over the cost of Cork when you're reselling it to the end user customer. $3 an endpoint on the 100K plan, $7 an endpoint on the 500K plan. In order to get started and get signed up as a Cork partner, the way that it works is the baseline pricing to get signed up as a Cork partner. If you want to get rid of that comment there, make the screen a little bit larger, Ryan. I think we're still seeing Lisa pop up there. There we go. So the baseline to get started as a Cork partner for any MSP that watched us today, and there's a couple of you in the group that are already signed up with us. We have over 100 MSPs, closer to 200 MSPs that are doing business with us today. The starting price is $349 a month to become a partner. What that includes is a $500,000 warranty for yourself internally as the MSP. So this is a policy for yourself so you can eat your own dog food and protect yourself. This gives you the ability to start reselling Cork's cyber warranty to your end user customers on a pay-as-you-grow pricing model without any large minimum commitments or quotas or volumes that you have to commit to. So it's not like you have to, sign on with Cork and bring 1,000 endpoints or buy 1,000 warranty licenses. It's not really like that. You could sell Cork one client at a time. If you want to lock in more endpoints as a sales rep, I'll be more than happy to take your money. But again, a lot of our MSPs like the flexibility of a pay-as-you-grow consumption-based model, and that's what we're really happy to offer here. Most importantly here, what's included in this partnership fee for $349 is full access to our compliance monitoring dashboard. That way you could see the vulnerabilities and compliance alerts across every single one of your clients. If you're an MSP that manages 10,000 endpoints, you're going to get monitoring for all 10,000 of those endpoints, even though you might never sell one of those endpoints a Cork warranty in the future. Again, some of our MSPs, they only partner with Cork just for the compliance monitoring. The majority of our MSPs like the monitoring and they also sell the warranty. But again, if you're reading this today and you just want access to the monitoring, that's included for every single one of your endpoints, all your end customers for the $349 price tag. This is also going to include all of your onboarding, your training with our US-based tech support team, all of our co-branded sales and marketing training, as well as the instant access to the DataStream cyber insurance quotes for all of your customers that might want to save a couple $1,000s a year on cyber insurance. So again, $349 a month, you'll become a partner. And then it's $3 an endpoint on the 100K warranty or $7 an endpoint on the 500K warranty. Something special that we are running for all members of the 7-figure MSP group, and this is a group exclusive here, is that we are offering a 14-day free trial. It's available in your member portal right now, or you could go to corkinc.com/7-figure. You'll insert your information here. No credit card is required today. basically what this 14-day free trial is access to the compliance monitoring dashboard. So we'll be able to integrate with your RMM tool, your backup tool, your EDR tool. You'll be able to see what compliance issues or vulnerabilities there are. You'll be able to get the instant cyber insurance quotes through DataStream. And then at the end of the 14 days, that's when we're going to ask for payment information. Or if you wanted to sell a warranty to your client beforehand, we're going to ask for your payment information as well. But again, if you just want to see the monitoring and all the compliance alerts that are coming through, I highly encourage you to register for the 14-day free trial. No credit card required. It's available in your member dashboard in 7-figure, or you could just go to corkinc.com/7-figure to get signed up today. And Ryan, that was my last slide. I know we got about a couple minutes left here. Was there any other questions from the audience? You're on mute.
Integration with ThreadDown. I'm not familiar with this partner, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't. I think ThreadDown is actually another name for Malwarebytes. So Malwarebytes, yeah, if that's what you're referring to, Fernando, then yes, we do work with Malwarebytes. That's no problem. And you'll be able to see the integrations of all the tools that we're able to work with in our knowledge base on Cork's website. But I know that Malwarebytes is one that we were able to observe and integrate with. That wouldn't be a problem.
All right. Any last questions from the community here? While I'm waiting to see if anybody has any last minute questions, my thing that I like to wrap these up with is, if there's one thing that the viewers take from this webinar, what should that one thing be? Yeah,
so it's not cyber insurance versus cyber warranty. It's cyber insurance and cyber warranty. They really go together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We want to stick together and really help your client during a cybersecurity incident.
100%. All right, and then we got one last question in here. Do we get NFR copies for coverage to cover ourselves or our own business? And I think you answered that in the pricing slide. You have that base membership that is designed for the MSP.
So the $349 package, that includes your own internal warranty, monitoring for all your endpoints, all of your onboarding and training. You could also get the discounted cyber insurance quotes through DataStream for your organization as well.
And then we had one more. Luckily, I double-clicked by accident. Yeah. What is the process to connect API for all tools? How quickly can this be spun up?
Realistically, you're going to be spending an hour here tops. This is probably one of the easiest vendors you're going to onboard, mainly because there's no software agent you need to roll out and deploy. It's really just going into your RMM tool, your EDR tool, connecting the API, waiting about 15 or so minutes for the data to sync, and then all your clients are going to be populated there.
And probably the majority of that is going through the documentation of those providers to figure out what you need to do for their APIs.
Yep, and we do have a knowledge base article as well for all these integrations as well. So if you go to corkinc.com, there's a support tab that shows you how to set up your ConnectWise RMM or your WebRoot EDR or whatever tools you end up using.
Perfect. That is it for questions. So Nick, I appreciate the time. I will probably be seeing you sometime in the next couple of days, I'm sure, here at IT Nation.
I'll be floating around IT Nation. Come and find me. I'll be wearing my Cork hat. And happy to engage with anybody on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. And on behalf of Nick and myself, thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you on the next one. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.